Alright, Scar to Moon. This is going to be part 2 of the spear fighting, mainly with shields. Just kind of going over like back shield, shoulder shield, and then a little bit of Hoplite spear fighting. A lot of this is going to be coming from my Red Fighter experience and watching what other people do with spears. I haven't fought a lot of spear with shields, but the concept is pretty similar. There are kind of 2 ways that I see people going about fighting like long spear with shield. They either have a back shield or they have an arm shield. I don't have an arm shield to show you guys today, but I'll kind of mime it a little bit for you. So I see a lot of back shields because, well, you're spending a lot of time running away as a spear fighter. If you're stabbing down over here, or you're doing this, you know, it's nice to be able to just turn and block arrows. I like the corner of this shield because it's good coverage. Really hard to hit me from here, and I can still kind of do something from here. Same thing from this side. I'm very covered. Also, if I'm running away from you, and I got my spear over here, just wiggling around, good coverage. Very hard to hit me. But it's passive. There's a lot less actual protection going on there. I have seen people, if I can get this off here. Here we go. Alright. I have seen people do a kind of like a hang a shoulder or a shield off of their arm here somehow. Let's see how I can do this. Yeah, like this, where it kind of hangs off. So they're fighting like this. I've seen that work. That works pretty well. This isn't kind of shield for it, but I've seen it work. Because now they're kind of... this is good too. Good protection. I don't like how it wiggles, but like I said, I don't have a shield specifically designed to do that. So, obviously, a back shield's a back shield. There are techniques, you know, spinning, running, leaning with the back shield. Great. If you have a shield that can do that, do it. It'll keep you alive, and at the very least, you can turn your back, block spear, arrows. Less useful on a line, I'd say, than an arm buckler. I wonder if... So, I used an arm buckler when I was red fighting for a while. It's a good, like, kind of oval-shaped shield. Kind of defended from here to kind of a little up above my shoulder. That was great. It was excellent. And if I were fighting spear like this, and I had a shield covering me, perfect. A shield is just like a helmet in the aspect, especially one that's forward-facing. Archers are going to shoot you less. Now, as a spear, they're going to still shoot you more than a red, but they're going to shoot you less. Because, especially if you block a couple of arrows. You're just turning and blocking a couple of arrows, you're going to be in a better position than I'd say a lot of people are. So, get a shield. Really useful. I can't really, there's not a lot I can show you. I need to get like somebody else to shoot at me with my bow, and I can block and kind of show you some good guards with it. But like, for a shoulder shield, I wouldn't go anything bigger than like, 18 inches wide and maybe like 1.5 to 2 feet long. That's a good coverage from your mid-torso to your upper thing. I like it to overhang my shoulder a little to defend my head. And that's as big as I would go as far as a back shield. That's almost too big for a back shield. I get caught on shit. But like the coverage for me and my friends is huge. If an arrow hits my shield behind me, then that's good. It stops it from hitting a friend. Now, will I have to take that? Depending on the archer, yeah, probably. They're going to say I either blocked a shot or whatever, but still, defended my friends. That's what a shield does. Not a lot on that. I just say get one. Kind of keep it small for your back shield, much smaller for your shoulder shield. I'd say something that's on your shoulder is probably best. You can get something that defends your arms a little lower and you can move your arm up and down, but shoulders, it's just you're already facing that direction depending on what your dominant side is. So you might as well get one. I find ones that are elastic and go up to the shoulder are good. There's not really a lot of good ways to drop it. If they break your shield, you're pretty much dead or out of the fight. So, as a spear anyway. As a red fighter, it's pretty similar. It's really hard for me to drop my shield when I was a red fighter, so I kind of just, took death pretty much. Now, Hoplite spear fighting, I've done a whole lot of. I almost exclusively have never done this. But I've done this when I've pulled my red out, or I've lost my other sword. So now I have a decent reach. So this is kind of hoplite fighting. I can do a little bit of hoplite fighting with this, but usually I'm down swording and drawing my other sword. So the way I've seen other people do it is with something that's, 5 or 6 feet long, relatively light. Carbon like this is best. Counterweighted towards the back of your hand so you've got good control and maneuverability. And you actually can do pretty good things with this on a line. You're really well defended. You can snipe legs with very little open, aside from your side here, which is kind of always open as a sword shielder. And you can carry a down weapon. And if you really want to, you can move around like this and pull your sidearm and still be relatively effective sword and board, while still having a lot of the utility of the spear. Now, hoplites also, I've seen some people who use a hoplite spear, but it's actually a javelin. That's nice. I don't like javelins. I need to make a video about javelins because I don't use javelins. I pick them up and throw them the other direction. I don't even give them to teammates. My teammates just always suck with them, so I'd rather just get it off the field or away from me. So I've seen it with javelin. There's utility there. If you do that, get good, but also expect people to not take your hits as much. A javelin doesn't hit as hard, so people in armor like this are not going to feel it very easy. So what we're going to kind of go over a little bit what the purpose of this. This is, once again, it's a good hybrid. You're a shield sword fighter, but you're also a short spear. You can do a lot of things a spear can do and almost have everything a sword and shielder can do. The only thing that this adds is utility. It's basically making a sword and shielder a short spear user. Now you're less effective because one hand on your spear means you don't have as much leverage and torque, but that's not as important. You have the ability to pull it out and just switch weapons really quickly. It's like having a, kind of a short bow. You can reach out and touch people. And honestly, this is good at getting across that 8-foot gap in no man's land. So if you're a sword and shield fighter, honestly, I'd say get a spear. The worst it can do is you drag it around and with you, and then you got good leg protection. Yeah, it cuts off a little shots up here, but you can get a shorter one. It doesn't have to be 6 feet. And a lot of people carry javelins and do the same thing with javelins. Having a 4-foot javelin still gives you a lot of optimization. So I kind of consider, if you're carrying a javelin as a sword and border, you do a little hoplite with it. So where you want to be, same place as spears, but you can be in a lot of other places. You can move around in more dangerous areas because you have a shield. You can really go to areas where there's archers. If you've got a shield and a helmet, you're pretty good off. Facing here, I can stab pretty good at people's legs off to the side and be relatively protected against other spears and archers. This is more of a defensive spear than anything because you can actually get in there, be tanky, be that sword border for your line, and have the utility of a little bit of spear. Now, downside, you're going to get bullied. Every time I come across a guy with a spear, I'm just hitting that shit. I'm knocking that shit to the ground with my red. I've seen people lay polearms on it. If somebody lays a glaive on this, you're not getting that up. Most people are not getting that up. It's still good. I've been killed by hoplites a lot. A lot of people using javelins. I think that it's really good. Downside, pricey. You're a sword border. You're online, you've got a shield already. You're talking $60, $70, $80. Sword. And if you've got a good helmet, that's what I think you should, really, if you're a good sword shielder on a line, that's what you should have. At least some light protection. You're now adding, ideally, a carbon 4-foot, 6-footer, or a 4-foot javelin. Both of those are pricey, $80 to $100. For carbon, $120, $130 easy. But the utility is great. There's a lot of situations that you can use this in. And once again, worst case scenario, you ditch it. You have your sword and shield. I said this kind of with red. If you can add a shield, why not add a shield? You're not using it with this at least, or something similar, a shorter spear. You're not using an 8-footer. You don't need to have both hands. Unless you're trying to be the most optimal spear fighter. But I'm assuming if you're hoplite fighting, you like Greeks, Romans, or Spartans, You want that look. You want that kind of aesthetic, and go for it. And then, fuck, if you can get away with it, having a javelin as well, because it can do both. Great. I don't see him as much because there's a lot of kit. There's a lot of stuff. So do it. Hoplite fighting is cool. I've seen some people do it successfully, and I think it makes the field look good. Like, it's a historical style, and I think it really is good. So, yeah.